Hey guys, welcome back to another Twitch updated complete guide. So this is going to be another one where basically Twitch at the current moment has like four viable builds. We have like the build we covered in the previous video, which is the Bork into crit build. We have this one, which is the one I like to call the unhit build. And then we also have AP Twitch, and we also have full crit Twitch, which we'll cover those two in the next two videos. But in my opinion, between the Bork into full crit and the Bork into unhit, I think both of these are Twitch's best builds after testing all of his builds. And a long time ago, like before patch 4.2, I said that AP Twitch is the best build. I think AP Twitch is still good, but I think now because of a hyper carry meta, I think now the Bork builds are actually now really good and slash better. So I'm gonna now talk about what this build exactly is. So as we know, it's of course a unhit focus build. So we're gonna start off with Bork. So Bork gives us the attack speed, a little bit of attack damage, the physical vamp, as well as of course the unhit current health damage, as well as stealing movement speed after 3 attacks. Then we go for the Runan's Hurricane, which number 1, it's gonna give us attack speed and crit. Number 2 is going to allow us to hit 3 people at the same time, which is going to apply unhit effects. So we're going to be able to unhit onto 3 people at the same time. And furthermore, you can spread your damage to 3 people at the same time. So this is definitely an item you want to go for second. Next up, of course, your boots. You generally want to go for Actually, I'm not even going to talk about boots because there's going to be new boots most likely in like the next patch, so probably we don't have to discuss that either. Wit's End. So Wit's End, of course, gives you even more attack speed, gives you the magic resistance, and of course, this also gives you the unhit magic damage. And also when you're below half health, you're going to get lifesteal. So this, as you can see, this build, so much healing from Wit's End and Bork, so much attack speed, and so much unhit damage. It's just insane. Then we of course go for Maul Reminder for the armor penetration as well as the anti-heal. You could also, if you want to, go for LDR, because you do have like a 1 crit item here, and you are going for Shield Bow at the end, so you could also go for LDR if you prefer. But as I mentioned, Shield Bow at the very end for, once again, more physical vamp on hit. And of course you get a little bit of attack speed, crit, attack damage, and you also have, of course, the Lifeline passive, which is the main reason why you're building the Immoral Shield Bow as your last item. So once again, I'm not going to actually talk about runes because, of course, the rune system is going to get revamped in the next patch, so no real point. But for the spells, it's going to be Ghost, and it's going to, of course, be Flash. And with all that out of the way, let's jump straight into talking about our gameplay. Okay, so now into the gameplay. Forgot to mention this just now, but don't forget to check out the Twitch basic guide we released for his skills, leveling order, combos, as well as some tips and tricks. And of course, as usual, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And any questions, queries, or remarks, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I will of course be sure to address them or at least drop a like. Okay, so now jumping into the game. So here we're with a Seraphine, and we are against a Xayah Yuumi. Now Yuumi, in my opinion, is one of the most annoying champions to play against in the bot lane, and especially when you're in like mid master plus, Yuumi becomes like pick ban every match, which is really annoying. Because I mean, I would like to play with a Yuumi, but not too many people like to play Yuumi. I feel like I'm always fighting against the Yuumi. I'm never with a Yuumi. But anyways, this just unrelated to the discussion of like Twitch altogether. So anyways, let's discuss the first thing, which is we took a look at yesterday's build of the Bork into crit. So now we're taking a look at the Bork into Wit's End. So what is the key difference between these two builds, and when would you go for which build would you go for? Well, honestly, both of the builds are really similar. If you really break it down, your first 2 items are the same. You go Bork into Runan's Hurricane, which of course gives you a really weak early game, but you spike really hard on your 3rd item, regardless of whichever item you go. So you're gonna have a weak early game either way, because you have the same first 2 items either way. So the key difference here is you're trading off a IE for a Wit's End. And of course, your last 2 items are going to be armor penetration and shield bow slash a survivability item. So it's roughly the same if you really break it down. And the key difference really is the Wit's End versus the IE. So what are the pros and cons of Wit's End and versus IE? Well, basically, IE is obviously going to give you a lot more damage. It's a pure damage item. Whereas Wit's End is going to give you a lot more survivability. And also, of course, you got unhit magic damage, which you don't get with the IE. But of course, the unhit magic damage on Wits End, we're not gonna really talk about that because it's damage, and obviously if we're talking about damage, IE is gonna beat Wits End hands down. So the main difference you have with Wits End is your attack speed and your attack speed and your magic resist, as well as your unhit healing. So these are the three key differences that is a trade-off between IE's damage, because IE gives you 55 damage and increased crit damage, so it's a pure damage item. Wits End gives you, of course, survivability in terms of having, number one, the magic resist against magic defense, number two, the healing when you're below half HP, and number three, more attack speed so that you can proc your Bork together with your Wits End passive more. So it's basically, the long story short, the TLDR of it is it's damage versus survivability. So I tested both builds. Both builds are great, and it's really dependent on, number one, what playstyle do you prefer, and number two, what enemy team are you facing. So sometimes, like for me, I'm okay with both playstyles, like the damage and the survivability. I'm okay with both, but I personally just like to take a look at like team comp, for example, and just from there jump to a conclusion. So honestly, this match is not really the best match to go for, like this Wits End build, because really the main magic damage sources on the team is going to be Yuumi and is going to be Aurelion Sol. But in my opinion, this kind of warrants it, because Yuumi, you can see from her itemization, she's going like for Lost Chapter into a M-Tone. So I'm assuming she's going for Luden's Echo first item, which is a very common Yuumi item first. So Yuumi magic damage, Aurelion Sol is a magic damage like mage carry in the mid lane. So I think this is kind of okay to go for Wits End here. So in this here, we're doing the classic Twitch trade of coming out from invisibility. Here we managed to actually get the Shen out, so we're just going to run away. Or rather, I'm going to run away, and Seraphine does end up getting caught. Unfortunately, nothing much can be done there. Caught out of position and gets taunted, gets killed. And my plan gets popped. I'm just going to take the plan to restore my mana. Overall, it's, as I said, it's going to be a little bit weak in the early game, but you're going to be okay, or great rather, when you reach 3 items. Now in this particular match, you can see I started off with a Execution's Calling first item, because when you're playing against Yuumi, pretty much whatever champion you're playing, unless maybe Kai'Sa, you always want to go for Execution's Calling first item, because if not, you are never going to win any trade or all-in against a Yuumi lane, because Yuumi's healing is just too absurd. So yeah, you're gonna definitely have to go for that Execution's Calling first item, which is exactly what we did here. And now we're gonna start building into our Bork. So it's definitely gonna be a very, very delayed. Here, they think that I've backed, so here I'm just going to come out of stealth and try to get a trade onto them. You can see that it's not really working out very well. I get ignited, and I barely survive on 1 HP here. I'm just going to recall off of that. And yeah, a little bit lucky that I didn't just straight up die there. Here, I'm just going to ignore that fight. I'm just going to recall. My team should be able to clean up the fight. And I'm in no state to fight here. So instead of giving over free kill to the enemy team, I'm just going to be more conservative and just back. In the meantime, Shen apparently has managed to solo the dragon, which yeah, that did happen. Of course, Shen jungle is now a pretty strong thing. But yeah, so you can see my team is doing really well. My Lee Sin is 4-1, and all of my lanes are actually winning. So this is like a dream scenario for Twitch, because if your team is winning early game, you're gonna have a lot easier time scaling to late game. Now, some games it's gonna end up that your team basically carries you and wins you the game. You really don't even have to do anything. But some games, when your team is ahead, sooner or later they start throwing the game and start giving over shutdowns. And this is the point where it's time for you to shine, time for you to carry, because by that time, hopefully, you've managed to reach 3 items, because your team has, gotten such a huge lead that they're starting to get you kills, and they're starting to get you assists, and they're starting to get objectives, and you're gonna hopefully be strong enough to reach that point, and of course, be the one to carry your team at that point. So that's what I'm hoping for in this game. Here, the enemy team is trying to get this tower, and I'm popping the ulti to try to blast down the minions more quickly to protect this tower, which I do manage to do eventually. But the tower is now on 400 HP. Of course, my support was contesting the Herald and just died. So here I'm on my lonesome, trying to defend against the Xayah and the Yuumi. Not too much I can do here. To be very honest, here I'm going to just come on a stealth, try to focus the minions, pop the expunge to try to clear the minions, but it's not gonna happen. The enemy team is able to pick up the first tower. And I'm just gonna have to back off because there's really nothing I can do to defend that tower without just dying straight up. So sometimes you have to also know when to defend the tower, and you know, when to just give it up. There's no point me just dying there. They're gonna get the tower if I die anyway. And yeah, so here we know that they've roamed, so now here I'm actually just pushing in. I did ping that they were missing, but unfortunately the Zed, you know, was not really paying attention and does end up, you know, dying for it. So here they're going to herald mid, which obviously is a very logical play to do to secure mid lane tower. In the meantime, I'm doing my best to secure this bot lane tower. Obviously, I'm not doing a lot of damage. I'm not really doing very much damage at all because I only have a Bork. But here, I'm trying my best. They're still at mid, so there's no reason for me to stop pushing. I'm just focusing that tower down. And finally, we do get the tower here, and we also get the solo tower goal. So we are, you know, accelerating ourselves as much as possible. You can see that even though we only have 1 kill, we're only 700 gold behind our 6 kill Lee Sin. So you can see that just by farming minions well and just by taking the tower and like just playing conservatively, you can see that we can still amass a lot of gold, and our time to shine will come. You shouldn't be too impatient when you're playing Twitch because, as I mentioned, you need to hit 3 items to be strong. So there's no point in, you know, over forcing fights or playing the early game too much. Here you can see the Aurelion Soul gets caught out. You know, I pick up another assist. Seraphine gets a kill, and yeah, so you can see I'm only 500 gold behind my 6 kill Lee Sin. I'm 1-0-2 at the moment, and my goal is more than anybody on the enemy team. So even like, you know, I'm more gold than like the 3 kill set and everyone on the enemy team. So you can see here, all I'm doing is I'm trying to just maximize my farm. So here, fight happening in the top lane. I'm just going to push in the mid lane and pick up the farm. Now, after I've picked up the farm, I'm going to head over to top and see if there's anything I can actually do here to help. Here I'm going in via the stealth. I can see that there's a really low set. He dies before I reach there, and I'm now flanking the Aurelion Soul from behind. So here you can see we're just blasting him down. Warwick actually gets the ulti into the kill. Shen is coming over, misses the taunt. Unfortunately, I don't do any damage to him because he's in his W. So here I'm just trying to blast him down. Unfortunately, Warwick flashes, still dies, Shen flashes, sorry, and here I'm able to actually cut him out and pick up the kill here. So here I'm slowly like scaling. I'm gonna pop the stealth off the reset and just run away. Did have the ghost active there, so I'm just gonna run away, and yeah, so I'm 2-0-3. And you know, we're in really good shape basically. We have the double buffs here, we had the bone plating, so we weren't really in trouble there. And Dragon is coming up in less than 10 seconds, so ideally we need to reset, get ourselves the Runa's Hurricane and probably some boots and rush over to the Dragon. So here Runa's Hurricane as well as Boots of Fury has been completed. And we're gonna run straight to the Dragon to see if we can help our team. Obviously we can see that the Xayah Yuumi is in the top lane, Aurelion is in mid, and it's pretty much a 1v1 between Lee Sin and Set at the Dragon lane at this current moment. Enemy team is rotating over to the Dragon. Here I'm just picking up the farm on the way over. As I said, getting to 3 items is a very big priority on Twitch. Here Lee Sin hops in way too early, honestly. Dragon's still at 3k health. He gets stunned up, takes a little bit of poke, but he should be fine. Control warding in to allow him a chance to steal. He does get the steal. I'm ulting over the wall, popping the expunge and trying to just blast whoever I can. Flashing forward to get the kill onto the set, and I get the reset. Double kill for me. I'm chasing down Aurelion Soul, but I don't think I'm going to be able to reach him. Zed is going to be able to reach him though, and Zed probably can pick up the kill. No, he cannot. Ends up dying to Aurelion Soul off of the Xayah route instead. Here I'm trying to possibly kill Aurelion Soul. Unfortunately, I do end up dying. I think that the poison might be able to kill. No, it does not. So unfortunately, I do end up dying there, which is, yeah, I mean, that's all it is. It's just unfortunate we didn't manage to get the kill on Aurelion. I thought we could get the kill on Aurelion, reset, and run away from the Xayah, but unfortunately, he was just a little bit too tanky with his Rod of Ages, probably mostly stacked up by now. However, either way, you can see that in terms of gold, me, Lee Sin, and Xayah are all up there with 9 point something K gold. So here in terms of gold, we're still doing really well. So dying there is bad, but it's not the worst thing in the world. We still are doing really well. Here we even got the QSS because there's so much CC in this game. Shenton, Xayah root, Set ulti, Yuumi ulti, Aurelion Q. We just need that QSS to prevent ourselves from getting CC. So here once again we're just clearing out the mid lane, and of course we want to start to build towards our wits end. So normally this is the point where you can decide whether you want to go for the crit build or the on hit build. So because of course your runes are going to be the same, your first two items are going to be the same, and this is the point where you start to decide what you want. So here, as you guys can see, my situation that I mentioned is correct. Yuumi is going for Ludens into Death Cat. That's a lot of AP. Aurelian, he's doing pretty decently well. He's, really farmed 9k plus gold, 2 items completed already. So my conclusion is I'm going to need that survivability and that wit's end. So I'm going to go for the on-hit build in this particular match. So now that we've established what item we're going for, of course we just build towards it and we just call it a day. Here you can see that enemy team is doing the Baron. Aurelian Soul looks like he's just going to face check us, so we're just going to focus him down and he's going to be forced to flash away. We're in a 3v5 here, so we're going to have to try to be really conservative. Here I'm going to stealth in, pop the ulti and just try to blast whoever I can. Look at all this damage. I'm popping people, I'm killing the Xayah. Unfortunately I get rooted there and I was unable to actually QSS in time because of my slow reactions, but we are able to get the shutdown onto the Xayah, but the enemy team does end up picking up Baron. Now that could have been a very good fight if I QSS that random root that hit me out of nowhere, and I probably have been able to pick up a couple of more kills, but unfortunately that did not happen. We ended up dying. Warwick ults in, and now he's in trouble. He's probably gonna end up dying as well. There we go. He does go down, and it's overall starting to become a disaster. So this is kind of what I was mentioning. Sometimes, like, even though you are really dominant at the early game, your team starts to throw, and like an enemy team starts coming back. You can see here that enemy team now has a 5k gold lead. They have Baron, and here I'm gonna have to start to try to pull my weight and carry the game. We get the kill onto Yuumi. Now we're going on to Shen. Shen is probably gonna be dead here. Down he goes. Aurelian is pushing in the top lane. I'm gonna let my team handle that. I'm just gonna pick up the red buff and just do other things. We don't need 5 people to respond to like top lane. Lee Sin looks like he's going on to Aurelian Soul, and the Seraphine and Lee Sin should probably be able to pick up the kill. Unfortunately they do not. Aurelian actually gets the kill, so here I'm going to actually rotate to the Aurelian fight. Unfortunately Seraphine dies as well. Now here I'm solo 1v1ing the Aurelian Soul. He pops the stasis. Zed is now in to try to help out, and I am able to pick up the kill with the poison plus the red buff and get the 800 gold shutdown on Aurelian. So, and this actually allows me to complete my wit's end, which of course is going to be a very key purchase in this match because of Yuumi and Aurelian Soul damage. And Yuumi surprisingly is actually doing really well as well. Like, Yuumi has more gold than my Zed and my Warwick, as well as my Seraphine obviously. But yeah, Yuumi is putting in a lot of work as well, and of course as is Aurelian Soul. So in this match it's really like Aurelian Soul, Xayah and Yuumi who's like really becoming a big issue for us. Of course Set and Shen will always be an issue because they are like people who can engage onto us. Here Set is really overextended. We're trying our best to kill him. And we do get both the Set and the Yuumi kill. Dragon is actually alive now, so we don't know if the Shen is soloing the dragon or what's going on at the current moment. But doesn't appear to be the case, so we're just gonna blast plant over and we're gonna just take this dragon as a whole team. Here Aurelian's coming in with the stun. We are kind of trapped in the pit at the moment, but we are able to pick up the dragon, and here you can see we're just fancy feet flashing and using the ghost to avoid everything that we can. I'm gonna have to pop the plant here to get a little bit of health back, and I'm not sure if I'm needed there, but I see Aurelian running away and I know I'm never gonna reach him, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start farming and clearing these minions on instead. Now we've got like 3 items already. We're doing pretty well. We're in really good shape. We're almost completing our Maul Reminder as well, of course, to get that armor penetration for the Shen and the Set as well. So here I'm you can see that when you have 3 items, farming becomes really easy. We are just bursting down the minions and the jungle monsters. Not too big of a deal now. 7-2 and 8 now. Here I was actually trying to recall, but I see Aurelian's star coming straight down. Here I popped the Unstoppable because I thought that the star was going to explode and hit me. Turns out it took way longer than I thought, but I'm invis anyway. He can't actually see me, so I'm completely fine. Not a big deal. Fight might be breaking out here, but I'm just gonna quickly just walk back and just quickly pick up my Maul Reminder right here. And of course, last item is gonna be Shield Bow. Got enough gold for a long sword to start building towards the Shield Bow. And here Baron is up. So Baron is up. Enemy team might try to rush Baron. Obviously Xayah and Set are in vision, so that's not quite happening at the moment, but still we have to sort of be in the area. We can see Aurelian and Yuumi are on the opposite side of the map, so it's actually possible to rush a Baron right now, since we can see 2 of the enemies, like most Fed members, are on the wrong side of the map here. Or we could try to get a pick onto Set Shen and not Kai'Sa, Xayah. So here you can see we're opting for the Baron rush. So here we're popping the vision, we're trying to rush the Baron. Aurelion is flying over from the bot lane. And here it looks like it's going to be a fight happening here. We go unstoppable to prevent ourselves from getting hit by Aurelion stun. Here I'm just trying to DPS whoever is the nearest target. So in this case, I'm trying to even secure the Baron as well. Here Shen is in the pit trying to get the Baron as well. We actually do manage to secure the Baron. I think Seraphine got it if I'm not mistaken. No, actually I got it with the expunge. So now here I'm just focusing on blasting whoever I can. This time it's the Set. Set's going to get blasted down. Xayah is going to get blasted down. And you can see that the complexion of the match has changed completely when Twitch gets, you know, to 384 items and whatnot. I become really difficult to kill, especially with the sustain build and with the Seraphine with me. And I do insane amounts of damage. So here I'm going to pop the fruit, and we can push with our Baron buff. Shen cannot do anything. If he tries to come near us, me and Seraphine would kill him instantly. As I mentioned, he tries to go near us, so what are we going to do? We're going to kill him instantly. As you guys can see, Shen goes down. And here we can continue pushing on. We get the ace. We're going to go onto the inhibitor here. The Elder Dragon is actually up at the moment. And here the enemy team respawns are coming through, so obviously we cannot end the game. We want to instead go for the Elder Dragon. Now Shen is the jungle, and Shen just died. So this should be a relatively free Elder Dragon because Shen is not alive. So we have, of course, our full team here. The enemy team probably is going to contest, and they do. Aurelion Sol tries to come in, but you know, he's going in 2v5 together with his Yuumi, so he really has no chance. And we are able to actually pick up the Baron. So here me and Seraphine are going for reset because we've been alive for a very long time, and we have enough gold to buy items. I'm able to complete my shield bow to get myself the full build. And with the mid lane you know, gone, I was thinking of pushing in the other lanes instead, but it looks like my team might just end the game right here because they killed the Xayah, and only Set and Shen are alive. So I'm realizing that maybe we don't have to push other lanes. Maybe we can just run straight mid and end the game. So here I'm rotating over to the mid lane. I'm trying to help out this 1 HP Warwick. Warwick ends up helping to bait the Shen to me, and I'm able to pop the ulti and blast down the Shen. You can see he's really tanky. I'm a full build Twitch with Elder Dragon, by the way. He's really tanky. Here I flash forward to get the kill onto the Set. And here Yuumi and Aurelion are back up, but we should be able to handle them and end the game here. So here I'm just trying to blast them down, tanking the tower a little bit, trying to pop the expunge to get the kill. Unfortunately, the kill does not come through, but we are able to lifesteal off of minions, and we should be able to end the game regardless of whether we kill Aurelion or not. Unfortunately, our Baron buff runs out, so the situation becomes a lot harder because we don't have the Baron buffed up minions, and Xayah respawn is coming through. So now we're stuck in another situation where we can't really end the game. So I'm going to rotate over to kill this tower instead and try to push in another inhibitor. Lee Sin has just reset, so we still have 30 seconds of Elder Dragon. We're trying to make the best use of it, but the whole enemy team is starting to respawn, and the situation is getting a little bit dicey once again. So it's a really prolonged match here, but not too much we can do about it. We're doing the best we can. And you can see at this point, like we're already at full build. We can see that, look at our gold. We're almost at 20k gold at this point, miles ahead of anybody else. Like as I mentioned, Twitch scales insanely well into the late game. Full build Twitch, we want to quickly you know, dispose of the enemy team and end the game before they start reaching full build, and you know, it starts becoming more competitive. Here I'm just running in from stealth, popping the ulti. Seraphine ulti hits multiple people. I'm able to basically get my poison onto multiple people, and we're getting the Q resets and the ghost resets. We're just running everybody down. We get rooted a little bit by the Xayah, and here only Xayah and Set are left alive, so I'm quickly running back to clear the wave so that we have a minion wave to end with. In the meantime, my team is sort of just handling Set and Xayah. Lee Sin does end up dying. I'm back in the picture, and I'm ready to kill whoever steps up. Set comes up, so here I'm just going to target the Set. You know, he's just taking a ton of damage here. Not much he can do. We get the kill onto the Set. Only Xayah is left alive, and we have a minion wave. So we're just going to go ahead and end the game. Here we take tower aggro because of the poison on Xayah, but here you can see we're just focusing the Nexus, and we do end up picking up the victory right here. So that's it for this other Twitch updated complete guide. 2 more Twitch supplementary guides are to come. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and goodbye.